Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to a new episode of Kamen Rider Reviews. If you notice something, as I'm gonna upload this to, when this is uploaded on my YouTube channel, you'll notice it's Saturday instead of Friday. It's because Friday was a very hectic day, and I didn't have a chance to get to record this video. And plus, I was not prepared because I forgot to write down my notes for this video. So, I decided to do it today because I already have 2 other episodes of Top 5 Rants recorded for Saturday, so I can upload one of them today with Kamen Rider Review and one for next week. So, I am ready for that. So, I don't have to record a new episode for Top 5 Rants today. I just have to upload the one I already have done. And all I have to do is this one. So enough of that. Let's get to the second episode of Kamen Rider Reviews. This week I am doing Kamen Rider OOOs. It is the 21st season of the long-running Kamen Rider series. It has 48 episodes. It aired September 5th, 2010 to August 28th, 2011. In this series, there was technically two Kamen Riders, but one of them is like in 2 different forms. I'll get to that later. First off, the main Kamen Rider of the series is Kamen Rider OOOs. I have no idea why. I think it's supposed to be that the reason. If you actually watch the series, it kind of explains why it's called the rider's called OOOs. It's probably because it says that it's even more powerful than infinity or something, because it's pretty much an infinity sign with an extra O, so beyond. It's pretty much beyond infinity. First off, the person that is Kamen Rider OOOs, it was an unnamed king 800 years prior to the series. And then in the first episode, the main character, Eiji Hino, becomes Kamen Rider OOOs to protect the people around him. And then later on in the series, a new writer comes into play. His name is Akira Date. He becomes Kamen Rider Birth. I know, kind of a weird name, but you get used to it. It's actually pretty cool. And then he, due to some circumstances later on in the series, he actually has to quit being Birth, and he has to pass it on to a fellow friend or co-worker, Shintaro Goto, which he becomes Kamen Rider Birth. Now this is where I'm going to explain, like, okay, remember how I told you that there's technically 2, but there's 3? Well, because near the end of the series, Akira Date comes back, but he picks up a prototype of the Birth driver, which is the driver that Birth uses. But Shintaro Goto, he has the fully upgraded Birth driver. But later on, in order to help him, he was getting his ass kicked, and his was damaged, and he needed the prototype of the thing. The prototype means that prototype of the Birth driver means that it only had the breast cannon, because it didn't have all the weapons that the fully upgraded one has. So the person that was aiding Goto was going to bring it with, but Akira stopped her and grabbed it, and he became Kamen Rider Proto-Birth, and he helped Goto. So at the end of the series, there's Kamen Rider OOOs, Kamen Rider Birth, and Kamen Rider Proto-Birth. But Shintaro Goto actually uses the prototype Birth driver probably a couple times, like once or twice, I don't remember. But then Akira Date becomes Proto-Birth. That's pretty much it. The allies for in the series is Hina Izumi and Shingo Izumi. They're siblings, brothers and sisters. Hina appears in pretty much almost all episodes. Shingo, he's kind of in all the episodes because the villains are called Greeds, and one of them named Ankh. They were sealed like 800 years prior to the series, and when they get freed, Ankh's arm is restored. Right arm is restored, so he has to possess Shingo, but who is near death when Ankh possesses him, and he kind of makes a deal with AG that if you help me collect cell metals, I will help keep this guy alive. For more allies, we have Kosei Kogami. He is the president of the Kogami Foundation, which he's the people that creates. He funds the person that created the birth driver. To me, I think he's kind of weird because he's very obsessed with making birthday cakes. I mean, every time you see him, he's making a birthday cake. Yes. Then you have his personal assistant, Erika Satonaka. Later on, when Goto becomes birth, she aids him in battle. And then you have Chiyoko Shiraishi. She runs a restaurant where Eiji and Hina works, and Goto also worked there for a while, and it's where Ankh stays when he's possessing Shingo. For the villains of this season is called Greed. They're I don't know if you could consider them demons, but monsters that feed off human desire, and they also need cell metals to sustain their life, which are created by creating yummies from human desires. With that, the villains of the series is Ankh, which I explained. He's you don't really see what he looks like, but he's based off you actually get to see his actual real form later on. It's like a bird, because his core metals are his motif is based off birds. You have Uva. He's based off insects. His true form is Gamel. His true form is based on I don't know. It's mammals. I don't know. Yeah, I would kind of say just mammals because it's like rhino, gorilla, and elephant. And then Mezel, her true form's based off water animals. Don't remember the technical term for that. Aquarian life. I don't know. Then you have Ankh Lost Form, which is later on you find out that the reason why Ankh only reformed and only has one arm is because someone had his other his other core metals, so he couldn't pull it, something like that. And this one wanted to become full, so he did all. They tried to become one. You just watch the series, you don't understand more than me rambling about it. Then you have Kyoru Greed, which is dinosaur greed, which is actually a human turned into a greed. Which his name is Kyoto Maki, who created the birth driver. His motif, his greed form is based off dinosaurs, and then later on, Eiji also is part of the Kyoru Greed because Maki puts 3 of the purple core metals into Eiji, so he kind of becomes not like a dinosaur, but into a greed himself. But don't worry, he's fine. Now, the core metals is what you're probably wondering, is the metals that the greeds, that's what their life force is, that's what their consciousness is made of. At the very beginning, each of them had 10 core metals in all, but when the king, the previous O's king, destroyed one of them, of each set. They were born, if I remember correctly, they were each born turning into greeds. And each of the core metals is based off an animal. Since they all have 9 now, when they're resurrected, they only have 3, so they're trying to find it. The core metals that his is based off, but these core metals, 3 of them can be used in the OOO driver for full combos, everything. Just watch the series for a full explanation. I'm just rambling about stuff that I barely even know. So just go watch the series. But Ank's core metals are based off 3 birds. You have the Taka metal, which is hawk, Kujaku, which is peacock, Condor, and that's it. Uva, his core metals are based off his is the Quagata, which is stag beetle, Kamakiri, which is the praying mantis, and Bata, which is the grasshopper. Then you have Gamel, which his is Sai, gorilla, and Zo, which is rhino, gorilla, and elephant. Mezzles is Sachi, Unagi, and Taco, which is killer whale, eel, if I remember correctly, something like that, and octopus. And then the Kyoru greed, the purple metals, the Kyoru greed metals, core metals are Terra, Tricera, and Tiana, which is like a Pteranodon, Triceratops, and a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And they're all based, they all have a certain, you can tell them apart because they all have the same color. The Ank's core metals are all red, Uva's core metals are all green, Gamel's core metals are silver, Mezzul's core metals are blue, and the Kyoru greed metals are purple. And then you have the cell metals, which are metals that are pretty much born from human desire. They can, when a yummy is born, they collect cell metals in their body, and that's what, just watch the series. And it's also the primary thing that the birth driver has to use to transform, what the people of birth, the users of the birth driver have to use to transform and use their weapons. Now, Akira Date and Jintaro Goto are not the only users of the birth driver. It's pretty much like a universal driver, unlike the OOO driver. There has been 3 other users besides Akira Date and Jintaro Goto of the birth driver, and they are Nobunaga, who is he used it in one of the movies. Erika Satonaka, which is the Kogami's personal assistant. She used it in one of the Net movies, and then Eiji Hino used it in one of the movies also, when most of his core metals were taken. And that's pretty much it that I have written down. Now, personally, this would have to be I like this one a lot more than Ryuki, because it was just really cool. I liked all the combos that Eiji could use in OOO's form. With I read on the wiki that counting the red, green, silver, blue, all the main core metals of the series, besides the purple, orange, and black core metals, there's a total of 129 different forms of it. Sorry about that, my mailman came. So, well, besides that, that was pretty much it. So, I will see you next week, maybe, because since next week is Christmas. So, I'll leave that at that. So, like this video, like the other video, which I should have said that in the video, I don't remember. But anyways, like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel, like my Facebook, the official Facebook page, and have a Merry Christmas, everyone.